Welcome to the greatest ad in the world this week, featuring Fraser. How you doing, buddy?
I am really good. I'm so excited for this one. We've got another static ad this week. We had a
Okay,
video
okay.
last week that blew us away and we both loved it. This week we've got a very simple static. I'm a big fan of the simple statics. It's from a mutual friend of both of ours. It's from Doe Beauty, Jason, smashing it. And I'm excited to show you this one. Okay?
Yeah, I'm ready to dive right on into it. I love the idea of simple statics because I think people put so much time and effort into making things look so complicated, so busy. They want to
Yeah.
include everything. And as marketers, like we want to check off all those boxes, and performance people, we need all the things done. And I think so many people forget that like an ad exists and an ecosystem of a customer journey that can take decades. And like
Yeah.
you only need to have that ad do its job to be successful. So that being said, let's see it. Why don't you walk us through this?
Okay. So, first of all, look how simple this is. This is beautifully simple. Okay.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
obviously, you need a bit of background on the brand here, but essentially, it's an eyelash company. Okay. That's all you need to know, really. So, no lash, no problem. Simple. We've grabbed them. We've targeted with the creative because the people that are going to be engaging this are people who don't or feel like they don't have lashes. Okay. They feel like they need some eyelashes. So we've targeted with the creative. Now, what I love about this is we all know how powerful before and afters are, right? We
Yeah.
also know how much Meta hates before and afters. Okay. So
Sure. Yeah.
let's find a way around that. I love to find nice ways around before and afters, and this is the perfect one because the before and after is the image.
It's
Meta
brilliant.
on yeah, Meta aren't going to go, that's a before and after, you can't use that. That's just the image, right? So one eye she's got a lash, one eye she doesn't have a lash. We can visibly see in the same photo the difference that the product is making, and that is why I love this. This is clever photography. We're not relying on fancy graphics. We're relying on a great image here, an image which is a UGC image. Yet again, another point goes to Doe Lashes here because UGC images within statics can be really powerful, and we use these quite a lot. So often we think static ad, professional image, professional 3D render, all this stuff, right? You don't need that. You can still have user generated statics that perform really well. And this is a perfect example. So, what we're doing here, the only graphics we have is the copy at the top, and then we say no lash, and then we have a fancy little arrow that says fairy lashes, which is one of their SKUs. Perfect. Like we're selling the before and after. We're showing people what they can have and what they currently maybe already have, and it's just a solid advert. It's an absolute cracker. Brilliant.
No, I love it. And one of the things that I'm seeing with this too is sort of the storytelling, right?
Mm,
Like the eye, we're stopping because of the face. Got it. Then we
yeah.
go to the top left, bottom right. And top
Mm-hmm.
left says no lashes? Question mark. Okay, you got me. I don't have lashes. And then no
Yeah.
problem. Great. You've solved it. It's going back to those old like car ads we talked about a while ago. It's like lemon,
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm.
you got me. And
Yeah.
then what I love is then you go to no lash. And then it says the solution. So it says, here's your problem.
Yeah.
Then we identify the problem and we tell you have a solution. Then we show you the
Mm-hmm.
problem and then we show you the solution.
Yeah.
And it's like this could be a 4-card carousel where it's one
Yeah.
says no problem, second card says first card says no lashes, then it says no problem, then it shows with the no lashes, then it shows an after with the, and that would get blocked immediately and nobody would watch it. This does it
Yeah.
all in a quarter of a second
Mm-hmm.
in a
Yeah. And
simple
again,
spot that also feels like it's an iPhone picture.
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and this is the reason I love statics is because this exact advert could be done in an advert in a UGC ad, right? Girl looking at the camera. Oh, I have no lashes. I've always struggled with having lashes. As you can see, show an image of them with no lashes, and that we're probably 10 seconds in before we get all the information that this static has given us in 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And that's why you really need to pick your ad styles carefully, because what you feel might work best as a UGC, actually, when you step back, you go, actually, I can probably get all that information in a static much easier. And so that's where having a very diverse ad account in terms of styles and concepts is so important, because not everything needs to be a UGC advert, people. Not everything needs to be a UGC ad. Sometimes just having a nice static, or, a GIF, like a, 5-second video, a carousel, whatever, they can still do fantastic work. And that is exactly what this does. This could work in any other concept, but the most efficient way for it to work for the customer is a single image.
No, I think it absolutely does the job. Is there a second format of this thing too? Am I seeing that?
I think there could be. Or it could just be another test. Yeah, it's just a variation. I think.
Okay, gotcha.
I think we have. Yeah.
So, all right. So with this thing, I got 3 questions again. I love it. I don't know why, but I'm always inspired to get 3 questions when I'm chatting with you. This is great.
Okay.
First one that jumps out to me. And we've talked about this before, but there is no branding at all. Like, I don't even know what this is. So walk me through why I don't need the logo, the brand. Like, why is it totally fine and maybe a good thing that it doesn't say Doe Lashes on this? Because otherwise, just like, well, cool, what now? Is the way I feel.
Yeah, I mean,
just the ad itself.
My question back to that would be, why does it need branding? Why do we need to brand it? Because let's remember what this is going to look like on the feed. Okay, what is this going to look like on the feed? It's going to be, let's say it is a feed, could be story, but either way works the same, right? You're going to have a little circle, which is going to be the logo, and then you're going to have Doe Lashes. Yeah. The logo's already on there. The logo's there.
And it looks like it's blocked out too for it. Like, it's not all the way up so that you're going to have that. Yeah. And there's
it's already there. And then if it is on the feed, then your ad copy is, this week only, get free lash glue with every Doe Lash purchase. Like, you don't need to, look, Facebook, you run your ads through a page. Yeah. Right? Yeah. You run your ad through a page, so why do you need to slap your logo on it to make it feel official? And also, it makes it feel more like an ad. If this came up as a story placement, you're much more likely to tap and hold on this for a little bit to read it, because it doesn't look like an advert, right?
Yeah, it just looks like this person is in my feed for some reason. Like a friend shared it or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that, that's what we want. The longer that someone can stare at your advert, for a start, the more likely they are to remember it. Secondly, the more likely they are to purchase.
Got it. Love it. And I guess that kind of covers my second question of like a lack of a CTA. I mean, it feels like it's kind of already doing that, but you're also saying because it's the context of where this ad shows, that CTA is overlaid, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It'll be a swipe up on stories, or it'll be at the bottom. You'll have a built-in CTA. This is again something that you can find out in your testing. Do you always need a CTA? Find out that stuff in your testing. You could run a variation of this with a CTA. There's space in the image for it. Run it, see if it leads to a better result. Lower CPA, whatever, lower CPM. If it does, happy days. Then you've learned something there that you didn't know before. If not, this is clearly working for them. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been running. So, it's keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's so simple. It's so easy to get. And the more text on the screen, just the more confusing things will be. And I think this is just a tremendous example of copywriting and storytelling in a way where you get it immediately, which I think brings me to my third question. And this is more about actionability. What are ways that like a brand can kind of take this? Like, I mean, we've covered a lot of different styles of brands and a lot of different styles of niches and stuff, but like, is the reason that this works because of the before and after, or is it like, I'm just curious of like how do I go and do this for my clothing business or my supplement business or something along those lines? Is there
Yeah,
a lesson here if I don't have a before and after?
I think a lot of it is to do with the before and after because
Okay.
they know how powerful before and afters can be for a product like this, and anything in this niche before and afters are incredibly powerful, and so yes, that's probably one of the reasons why it works for sure. In terms of what you can learn from this, I think simplicity is king, and like you said at the very start of this episode, don't try and pile as much information as you possibly can into an advert in hopes that you're going to answer everyone's question, because the funnel is much bigger than the one advert that they're seeing. So you need to remember that for sure. So that should be your main takeaway, I think. But yeah, most definitely relies heavily on that before and after. If you took that away, the advert wouldn't really work. But
Gotcha.
I think there still is a lot to learn here, and the main thing is that simplicity works a lot of the time.
Yeah. I love that. And I guess that just brings me to one other thing that occurred to me when you're saying that. Like, if I have a clothing company, for instance, I could have the model stand there and show one side being schlubby and then like split the screen down the middle and the other side showing it. Um, the fact that this is clearly not an edited image versus something that we clearly have
Yeah,
to require Photoshop skills. Somebody's in Adobe.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is that something that's such a big value add to it? Like,
I think so.
is that one
Yeah,
of the reasons that's
yeah,
working?
yeah. I think because we've, as consumers, and mostly the younger generation for sure, have become much more like they understand what goes into marketing. They're not stupid. They understand that there's a lot of adverts out there which are photoshopped, which are very fake. And if you're showing a before and after that you've gone to the effort to lay those images next to each other, who's to say that you haven't also maybe done a little bit of a tummy tuck or a little, like who's to say that, right? Whereas this, that is the image.
Yeah.
They are using the product. That's it. Like there's no fancy editing here. She snapped the photo with her iPhone and that's it. So 100% that plays why this works so well, which is again why everyone loves before and afters, but they don't always work because there's still that seed of doubt in a lot of people's minds. And this advert, the way that they've done this, removes that seed of doubt for sure.
That's amazing. Yeah, because what I'm hearing most about this is like, if I were to take action on this, then like what I need to do is find a way to prioritize the legitimacy of what we're doing because the customers, the users, the people of the world are just aware. People can sniff out when they're being lied to, when they're being sold. And this doesn't do any of that. And there's also like the little attention to detail in here that like, and you pointed it out earlier and we haven't really called back to it, but the straight line that's boring, and then like the like just a little flare in the arrow to the fairy lashes, and it's off to the side of the screen. It's not dead center. It's not bolded. It's not bigger. It's letting the person do the work in a way that I feel is just again so much like this is easier to do, and I think there's something to that. Like the more work you put into something, the less legitimate it feels.
Yeah.
And if the goal, and to be fair, there are probably plenty of ads from Doe and from other people that are working great, that are highly produced, highly edited. But to something that you said, you should have a variety. I like to think of it as a portfolio of ads. This one appeals to the woman that doesn't want all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody that's going to want that highly photoshopped, tummy tucked, all of that stuff. But this is just like, this is a real girl taking a real picture on her phone, and you get it immediately. And I think having that balanced approach with the concept here is just honesty and straightforward and simplicity. I think I don't see hardly any brands doing this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and they're letting the platform do a lot of the work here, right? They're doing a lot of targeting here, right? Like we're looking at, like the demographic of who's in it. and who is buying the product. There's a lot of, they could have used any image here of any person, but they've decided, that they want to go with their target audience for this, and I think that does a lot here. They're letting the platform do the work here for sure.
Yeah, and if this works for me, there's no reason I couldn't get 10 other people to do this.
Oh,
I could have
definitely, yeah.
I could have women of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Shit, I can have men of all sizes, shapes, and colors doing this thing too. Like, it's a concept that works, and I feel like one of the big wins that I always try to find if I can get it is I don't think people feel about their ads in a way of like, let me make a campaign, let me make a branded vibe, and like I could have 20 of these things, right? And immediately I would know it right away, and it could be a dozen different women or men and women they're looking at this and just being like, they know it immediately. And to your point, the targeting, there's a woman that's going to see this that just like, oh, that's me. But there's also going to be women that might not see it because it's not them. But it's an easily replicatable concept. And I think there's a huge win in the idea of creating that sort of that vibe that I like to think of as a marketing campaign of like, we have a thing that worked. Let's replicate it over and over so that also the concept itself becomes a meme.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. I think, use this, and I think that could be one of the main takeaways that people take from this, right? That if you have an image like this, which is easily replicatable, where you can change something and then it suddenly changes the targeting, take that opportunity, because that doesn't come very often, and it will work in your benefit because it will help you discover new customers that you didn't know that you had, because before then you were only using white 25-year-old girls, right?
Yeah.
So take that, experiment with who's in your adverts, and that will let you unlock new customers that you didn't know you had before.
Yeah, no, it's amazing because, again, creative does the targeting, and no amount of data inside the Facebook ads platform is going to tell you, oh, you're only targeting 25-year-old white women. I mean, you might know it's a woman, you might know she's 25, but including other types of people, because we do live in a world with many types of people, actually can dramatically help. And I think that's amazing. Plus, I love the idea of the landing page could just be like a whole bunch of these folks and side by side.
Yeah, I love that.
You can also change out like the copy if you wanted to here. Like the no lashes, no problem. I'm willing to bet that's not the first thing that went up on the whiteboard. Like that seems like it's very well thought out. And you could make 20 of these and just run them against each other and see what works. I love it, man. Thank you so much, Fraser. This is fantastic. This is another banger, man. Like, yeah, I want to go and
every day.
Like, this is killer. Like, immediately I'm thinking like, this is just like, I'm trying to think of the other niches that we could lift something like this.
After this episode, you'll see loads of these. I can promise you. That's what you'll see.
Okay. It's like, now that I'm aware of it, I'm just going to see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And everyone will be copying them as well. That's what will happen. All right.
I love it, man. Well, thank you so much, buddy. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next week.
You too, dude. See you soon.
All right. See ya.
See ya.